Hello, and welcome to Conversations with Linda. I'm Linda. You know I love a good conversation, so let's have one. So, chit chatters, today I am so excited because I get a chance to share in a conversation with my own son, who's also one of my favorite singers. I got to say, one of my favorite singers because his daddy is my favorite singer. He was singing to me a long time before he came along. So, welcome to Conversations with Linda, KJ.
I'm glad to be here.
Woo-hoo! Come on, you got to just bring it on now. You and I we talk all the time anyway.
We're going to talk good today. Come on.
I'm excited because, I told you I wanted to be able to say I had the first conversation with you before E! Hollywood and all of those other people.
I don't plan to be on E! Hollywood. I don't plan to be on
wait a minute. Now, if you get you're going to be famous, you're going to be on E! Hollywood.
It's going to be quiet, though. See, I ain't going to have no mess, and I ain't going to be in no tabloid. I won't be on E! Hollywood.
Oh, okay. Well, before you take the red carpet, right? Before you take the red carpet. So there's a lot we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
But I kind of want to build this because, you got a lot going on.
Sorry.
All right. Sorry. And I got to tell you, one of our chit chatters, he wrote in and said, we need to have KJ on the show. He's one of our number one fans. And he said, we need to have KJ on the show. But what he doesn't know is you were slated to come on the show before to talk about relationships.
Yeah, but I heard I was 86 from the back. I heard that somebody.
No. That was
you.
Want
no players on the show.
No, that was you. Okay, you sounded like your Uncle Randy right about now.
Imagine shout out to my Uncle Randy, wherever he might be.
You know where he is. So, you've got this amazing singing career.
Okay.
But as I said, we want to start at the bottom of the mountain and build our way up. So let's just first talk about how did you know and when did you know that singing was your passion?
Oh, wow. It had to be. I was a kid. I used to sing, of course, in the children's choir, but children's choir wasn't where I wanted to sing. I think I realized.
You always wanted to sing with the grown folks.
There you go. But that's when I knew it was a passion.
Uh-huh.
If it was just a plaything, singing with the kids would have been cool. But the grown folks were doing something and they had a different swag. They sang with a different feeling.
Yeah.
It was just that moment for me of, I want to do it, and I don't want to do it on the kids spectrum. I want to do it like the adults are doing it.
Yeah.
So I remember Dad making me sing with the male chorus to keep me from singing with the adult choir.
Right.
And from the male chorus, I got a chance to go ahead and sing with the mass choir. You remember back in the day, you had the mass choir, the male chorus, the youth choir, youth and young adult choir. Then you had the senior choir.
Yeah.
I started backwards. I sang with the male chorus and the seniors before I ever sang with the popping choir.
Right. Yeah. And now, to our defense, we were trying to do that because if we let you sing with the big choir, right, the adult choir, we were going to have to let the other kids sing with the other.
That's right.
But when did you know that I want to do this right here as a profession? I want to do this. This is what I want to do. Not just that I love to sing, but this is what I want to do.
I was singing, there's this guy that was in the male chorus, and he used to sing this song called Doors of Progress.
The Doors of Progress.
And one Sunday he was not there, and they let me jump in on his solo. And I had to stand on this big red, like it was like a little step, and I had to stand on it. But the reaction I got from the people when I started singing was like I was so young, I couldn't tell if they were telling me I was doing good. They were just so happy somebody new was singing the song. I don't know. But that reaction was a place where I felt like I became myself, or I was alive. And I've chased that feeling to be on stages and to sing. It is the moment where whatever is in your heart is legitimately reaching theirs, and you all connect in an uncanny way.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
Wow. So you that fire that happens with the audience is what you were chasing.
At that moment, yeah.
Because I know people who can sing and love to sing, but they don't want to be on a stage.
Certainly.
But for you, it's the stage.
Oh yeah, it is. It's the moment of show. It right when you're right there in that moment, and you have that opportunity to give and to push out what it is you've been practicing on. Singing in the shower is great. Singing around your house is fun. But when you hit that stage and you are given everything that you've been working on, and you see the reaction of the acceptance, church is a great place to feel that for the first time. But when you step out of church and you feel it in other arenas, you feel like I have something.
Wow.
And you begin to say, okay, I want to take this further. You become ambitious with your own gift.
That's good. Ambitious with your own gift. I'm gonna come back to that.
Certainly.
Because I want to talk about the church for a moment, because you talked about that's where you began. And for those who may be tuning in for the first time, KJ is my son, but his father was a pastor, and we are still pastors now. So he got his start singing in church, and so did your dad. I mean,
certainly.
So how has the church influenced this journey? I mean, I know you felt it on stage, but anything else? Talk about that.
Church teaches you how to connect with people.
Okay.
It is something that people see in you everywhere you go. When you start singing, the first thing they say is, "Oh, I hear that church in you." But it is crazy because they don't. It's almost like they don't connect unless they feel something in you. And church has, for me, been something that has connected me with a lot of people. And I don't, we say church is a place, but legitimately, you learn that the church is us. The church is you. Because I've met people and been in so many different places that have no steeple and no vestibule, if you will. And the people feel and recognize church. It's what you carry. It's in you.
Yeah. And some of our greatest artists,
they come from the church.
They came from the church. Got their start in the church. That's awesome. That's awesome. And so when we're talking about you growing up, you love R&B music. You really love our blues, because you can sing blues just as well as you can sing R&B. I love to hear you sing blues.
When I wake up in the morning, if I had to be honest, I think I sing more classical music sometimes to myself.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know it. When I was in high school, I was in classic music every day. I still have a healthy appetite for Moses Hogan. No disrespect to the organist. Vivaldi, Gloria. It's so much music that I've just got into me.
Yeah.
So you wake up every morning and you regurgitate what's in you. Some days I wake up and it might be a hymn that I sing. I might wake up and it's some Nat King Cole, Unforgettable.
Yeah.
You just never know what you're gonna wake up and get. But it legitimately is a melting pot of music within me. Everything from Dorothy Love Coates to Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have folks laughing because I know show themes just as well as I know songs.
Your dad has always said, "I taught you how to sing." I don't know if that's not true, because he's the singer.
Yeah.
But what I think what you and I had was this, life was a stage for us. So in the car we were singing, and at home we moved furniture out of the way and doing dancing, because while I'm not a singer, I love music.
Right.
Yeah. And I love all kinds of music.
And I think the love for me, my love for music goes so deep. It is also how I have marked time.
Okay.
I remember being a boy watching TV with you.
Yeah.
And in watching TV, I remember those moments because I remember the songs that were like, I remember the theme to Mary Tyler Moore, "Who Can Turn the World On with a Smile."
Yeah.
I grew up hearing that.
Absolutely.
That was what we watched on TV.
Yeah.
If somebody that was notable in our family had passed away, the song that would have been sung when they're walking in.
Yeah.
I remember those songs. It carries me back to those times, no matter how young I was.
Me too. That happened. I know boyfriends according to music.
Yes.
Where I was in school, all of that.
I was trying to Mac on back in '99 when Mace dropped his album.
Absolutely. Oh, I love Mace. Oh, but anyway, you took me back. But your richness, your vastness for all kinds of music, also really comes from your dad. Right. Because when I just heard you talk about classical music and show tunes, that's him.
Oh, yeah.
And he knows as much classical show tunes. We can be in the grocery store and something will come over that I don't even pay attention to.
Frank Sinatra.
He loves all of that. He loves all of those. Yeah. So, I mean, you just got this rich heritage because your grandmother was a musician, and can sing.
Don't take her short. She
used to do concerts.
She ain't modest about it.
Gwen Willis Lofton can sing. Used to do concerts
all the time.
So yeah, so you got a rich history. But let's talk about a minute being that PK and having this passion to entertain and love blues and all that. Because while we enjoyed all of that, what we did on the platform was all gospel.
Certainly.
But you have a passion to take all of these different kinds of music to the stage. Mm-hmm. Talk about that. Has it been a conflict, or is it harmonious on the inside of you? What's that like? Because you were a minister of music.
That's so hard that you say word. Somebody record. Are we recording? Okay, she said word. Okay. It's not hard. And it is hard. I think the hardest battles that we will ever fight as humans are the battles that are within ourselves. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it was more of thinking you're climbing a mountain and you really are climbing the hill. And when you get over the hill, it's like a million people over there saying surprise.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Because
it was
when I finally got to the place and said, this is what I'm going to do. There were more people supporting me than there were people saying, oh, you can't do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the time you get over the hill, you're either so tired or you've worked up enough faith that you don't even care what people think anymore.
Right.
And that's really the best way to explain it. Church, again, I tell you, is in us. So when you learn that you separate what's in us versus who you're dealing with, you can say, well, people are people. I don't discredit the church because of what people are doing. People are just people.
Right.
And they don't always have the capacity to dream as big as you do.
Right.
So, I had to learn that so I would not get discouraged in my own journey. I think the harder part of it, where people, feel like you're arrogant because you won't listen. When people say, well, you shouldn't do it that way, or there's a better way to do it. When you're driven, people don't understand it. What you see is just what you see.
Gotcha.
You're a pigeonhole for what you don't see and for what you do see. Getting out of the boat. You don't see this storm, we're getting in the boat. You don't see this stagnation. It's like, which one do you choose?
The storm or the stagnation. Yeah, good. That's good. I'll use that in a sermon somewhere. I know it was a struggle for me though. Mm-hmm. And we can openly talk about that, because my biggest issue was focus. Mm-hmm. I know that to succeed in life, you have to have the power of focus. Mm-hmm. And I know that trying to focus in two different extremes will divide your energy. And I remember you and I having this major fallout about that, because I'm like, KJ, I'm not against you singing R&B music. Certainly. I love R&B music. Mm-hmm. What I know is you've got to put both feet into whatever it is, into something.
Certainly.
Right? And so talk about that a little bit, because you didn't want to give up one.
I still don't. I think, you
not give up the kind of music. Certainly. I'm talking about giving up.
I still don't. I'm looking to be somebody's minister of music now.
But you're going right back out.
Well, so I mean,
we are still in this place. That's what we're saying.
Here's the first thing that I say in response to what you said. Sometimes I war with you are my friend and my mom.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you give the best advice as a friend, and then sometimes you get the best advice as a mom. Mm-hmm. I remember when we were kids, when I was a kid, you used to always tell me, KJ, a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush.
Right.
And then I remember one day you said, don't put all of your eggs in one basket.
Sure.
So I remember as a young guy, always having to say,
I
always battle. Okay, do I focus on what's in my hand? Or do I assure myself that I make a better investment to not bank on the one that I have?
Yeah, yeah.
So all my life has been that trying to learn a balance in between the two. But I got to this place where I said, okay, you know, I don't know what my basket looks like. So if I've got one in my basket, but it's like 4 in the bush, but my basket is big, I might need like another one out of that bush, you know? But if I got like a little basket and I got one and I'm cool. Well, what that meant to me was for it, I might need that focus in her mind if that was just the only thing that I wanted to do. But I'm not chasing being an R&B artist. I'm not chasing being a gospel artist. It is the feeling of connecting with God's people that I legitimately long and desire for. And that's how I feel. That's why I feel so passionate about being able to go all over the place and still being able to be at home. Because when I'm at home, however I do it, I legitimately believe God is creating me a path to have influence. And sometimes, you know, I say this, I don't believe that he would give me opportunity and promote me to take me away from a place where those promotions could be privy to the people who have given me opportunity. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
We're still at the same place.
Oh, but baby, I'm with you 100%.
We're still at the same place.
20 more on Thursday.
We're still at the same place. And, you know, and it's because of what I know when I deal with empowerment.
Certainly.
I know there is a place for laser focus. So you got to know what the difference is between, and you know, I've told you this forever. You got to know what is purpose, pastime, and purpose. Right? What did I say? Purpose, passion, and pastime. And so if I focus too much on what's a pastime,
agreed,
right? I miss purpose.
May I ask a question there?
Okay, here we go.
What do you determine?
Here we go.
What do you determine as a pastime?
Because there's some things that I enjoy doing. Like I enjoy decorating, right? But if I'm not careful, I can miss what I'm purposed to do, fooling around with something I like to do. Okay, but we're not gonna stay here. We gotta have a whole nother show.
She got a point in that.
We got a whole nother show that we can do about that. No, you're not in control of this show now. You're not in control. But we will talk about that because I teach that. I really believe that the most successful people are the people who can pay the cost. We talked about this. Make the sacrifice to go after it. I mean, remember when Jordan, you know, he played a little baseball, but what you really made your mark and your legacy in was basketball. Follow me? You get that? So y'all, we
I tell you what my boss says, and then I leave you alone. My boss says this: even conduits need drivers.
Sure, absolutely.
So what he says by that is, when you're in something that's taking you to a new place, you have to have the focus for what you're in, but you never forget that you're on your way somewhere else.
Okay. We're going to leave that. We're going to come back to that on another show.
Perfect.
All right. So you've grown up as a PK, love the church, love singing all kinds of music.
All kinds.
And then one day you get this call.
Boom, boom.
And it's a call from Babyface. His camp. Let's say it that way. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that before we go to commercial, because we want to leave them on the edge of their seat. Just a little bit about it.
I was getting ready for choir rehearsal, and my best friend called and said, "Hey, can you do something for me?" I said, "What?" He said, "I heard that Babyface is looking for a singer." And I said, "You heard?" He said, "Well, man, I got a call." I said, "You got a call?" He said, "Well, such and such called me." So, you know, he was trying to tell me like he was the big dog. Okay. And I said, "Man, get to it now. Tell me what's going on." He told me I needed to audition, that they were looking for a background singer. I stopped everything I was doing for choir rehearsal. And I prayed.
I love it.
I prayed.
We're going to stop right there and take a commercial break, and then come back and talk more with KJ, have some laughs. We'll argue a little bit, but I'm sure it'll entertain you. Well, hey, everybody, this is Dr. Linda. I want to share with you an awesome experience that I'm offering for girls 11 to 14. It's called Girl Boss. When I tell you it's going to be power-packed with information and inspiration and fun. I've got great speakers coming that's going to share with them about friendship and self-love and entrepreneurship. charm and etiquette is going to be on the agenda. So I don't want your girls to miss it. 11 to 14 are the ages. The cost is $150. It's June 27th through July 1st from 8 to 4 p.m. Can I tell you, we're going to have a paint party, movies, and a special swim party at my house. I can't wait to share with your girls. So go ahead and get them registered. Go to LindaWillisEmpowers.org. I can't wait to share with your girls. Welcome back to Conversations with Linda. I am having this amazing conversation with my son, KJ, who is having just a phenomenal, miraculous experience on his journey with singing. And so before we left KJ to go to commercial break, we were talking about, you got this call and a friend was telling you about the call, and you ended before we went to commercial saying, and you went into prayer.
I did.
Okay. What did you pray?
My prayer was, Lord, if this is the beginning of the journey. It was so crazy. It's like maybe a few months before I started praying, because I feel like my path is the path of influence.
Okay.
Like when I get to the culmination of where my destiny is, I don't think it is because I will have written some amazing record and now I got this Grammy. I think it will be because I have the influence that whatever it is that I am doing, it's going to draw people to a certain mindset. And that's just the love of God. God is love. And that's just the truth. So I prayed right then that if this was the path to my destiny, to let it be it, let me notice it, and let me, appreciate it. Mm-hmm. And then I got off the phone and I put my all white on. I did my audition video.
Okay. What did you sing?
Oh man, they had sent me. They sent me a different, like a criteria of things that I had to sing, different songs of that nature, and then I had to learn the choreography that they had sent. Well, I had already been to the concert before. Okay, maybe like a year or two before I had been to the concert, so I cut it on right then and there. And I moved all the furniture out of my front room like we used to do back in the day, and I started learning that choreography. So much so, I was working on choir rehearsal, but it was like earlier in the day. I mean, I'm telling you, I was trying to send my video out that night. Okay. So I came in the choir rehearsal. I had finished doing my choir rehearsal. I came in the choir rehearsal that night in the panic because I was trying to get Quincy to send my video and make sure all of my stuff was right with my video so I could send off my audition tape. Wow. And I sent it out that night. So just in case you're not aware, haven't heard, KJ is touring with Kenny Babyface Edmonds. Certainly. And, what a God opportunity. What a God opportunity. I agree. Because there are a lot of amazing singers, a lot of amazing, writers, but he kind of has had such an iconic career, such a longevity in the business as well. And a phenomenal writer, has written for some of everybody. Producer as well. Producer some of everything. Yeah. Name some of the people that he's written for. Oh, wow. Tony Braxton, Whitney Houston. He's worked with Mariah Carey. The whole Waiting to Exhale soundtrack. And I remember this. I don't mean to cut you off, but I remember you telling me. So you go there and you see this. Wall. Oh yeah, without giving too much information, he's got there's a wall, like as you're in and out of the studio, there's this wall with all of the different gold and platinum plaques, and it's spellbound, and it's wow. It's just you just take the words out of your mouth, because when you see it, you're like, goodness, I didn't know how influential he was to the music industry. You always knew he was a big writer, when you hear him, you're like, okay, that's Babyface, that's somebody. But when you walk past this wall of, he's worked with Chris Brown, he's worked with Shania Twain, he's been with so many different artists, and you're like, how in the world? And then you see him as an artist still doing this thing. Yeah. And you're like, okay, he's an artist and he's a writer. We were in Mexico, and I guess I knew he played the guitar, the acoustic, but I just watched him pick up a lead guitar and just go in. Wow. And you just, you're sitting there thinking, he plays everything, he sings, he writes, but his work ethic is so crazy you almost have to understand why he can do so much. Yeah, he outworks everybody.
He outworks everybody.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Wow. So what is this tour life like? You know, what is it like to be on tour, going from city to city, state to state?
I can't act like I'm used to it. It's still fresh for me.
Okay.
So I can't really say what it's like in the sense of being able to relate it to anything because I've never had this kind of experience.
Okay.
You're absolutely right. You go to sleep one night at 9 p.m. You wake up the next morning at 6 a.m. You're in another city. Some days we might stay overnight in that city. The great part about it is you get love from each city. Every city we've gone to, you get a crazy amount of love. Everybody loves Babyface.
Oh yeah.
And they treat you well. We get catering and you're on this bus, and the bus isn't, you're thinking, oh my God, you're on the bus for 8 hours at a time and it's just terrible. It's really not that. It's not as bad as people make it seem.
Well, because you fly to some places as well.
Some places when they're too far, but we never drive such a long distance where it is just a daunting drive.
Okay.
I can't take it. But I had to get used to sleeping in like the bunks.
Okay.
I am not used to sleeping. I sleep like a bear.
I remember you calling, telling me that.
Listen, and it's just it ain't a lot. I feel like I was in jail.
Because it's a compartment that you sleep in.
And I didn't know if I could turn over. I was nervous about turning over because I didn't want to get stuck. I just felt like I was in the camp. I just was sleeping. It was just too much.
I told you to hang your head out the door.
I would leave my leg at the side. But it wouldn't work though. And then sometimes I get self-conscious. I'm like, is it my feet?
Boy, you so y'all just have to know this is him.
When you on the bus, you on the bus with all these other people, you have to be aware of everything. If your feet stink, you gotta know, and you gotta be like, I'm gonna keep my shoes on tonight. I'm telling you, because you'll be shamed. You be right there sleeping.
I was asking
somebody gonna come up in your butt talking about, what is that?
I was asking you, I said, are you snoring? Do you know whether or not
you're snoring? I snore.
I know, but I mean, are you trying to control it?
I wasn't trying to control nothing because I wouldn't get no sleep on the bus. They weren't worried about me snoring. Now, I had a few days where I didn't feel my best, and it was easy for me to go to sleep.
Okay.
And they said I snored them down. But I would wait till everybody went to sleep, and I would go back to the common area because there's like this big common area where you could sit down and watch TV, and I would fall asleep in the common area.
Really?
I did better just sitting up, falling asleep like an old man than I would. And then I did laying there. I'm telling you, I feel like I was in a casket. I'd be singing hymns all night.
Boy, come on here. Okay, look.
All along.
What? What? Tell me one of your favorite moments though on the tour.
First night of tour, the first show of tour. We walking out of it. We were getting ready to walk out of that tunnel. I never left my phones in the back. I would always keep my phone because you just never know what you're gonna see. I'm like, this is my first one. I'm so excited. I'm like, and I'm doing everything I can so that they bring me back. So I'm like, but just in case the devil gets busy.
And your mom is covering you. She covering you in prayer, saying, Lord, don't let him mess up. Don't let him mess up.
Just in case the devil gets busy, I'm gonna take all the pictures I can. So I would keep my phones with me. That first night out of the tunnel, I had my phone with me, and everybody's serious, and we walking out. The boss. I'm right behind. I was right in front of the boss. He's right behind me. And I'm walking. He walking. Everybody's serious. I don't really know what to say, but I got like this bad, big inclination. I want to take a selfie. Y'all know how I am. So I'm like, I gotta give me a picture. This is my first show. So I pull out my phone and I try to get a picture like on the slicks. I try to do that. And then my boss leans over and boop, jumps in my selfie with me.
Oh, really?
And he flashes his quick little smile. And then when we out of the selfie, I've never even posted it because it's the first picture I took from tour. But it was the moment that just kind of, he settled me because I was nervous. I was trying to remember. And then I was still in my fan mode. Like I'm walking out like,
how do you deal with that? Because I mean, who wouldn't be in fan mode? It's Babyface.
Exactly. It's him. He settled. He finds a way to settle you because he knows what we got to do.
Gotcha.
And that's one of the greatest things about him. He's never detached from the work that we are doing. If we on tour and we've been rehearsing for 10 hours, even though he's still in that 10-hour session with you and he's working, he does not have a detachment for the work that you put in and the care that it takes. he's loyal to his camp. You know what I mean?
So how did you deal with having to learn the choreography? Because
I prayed. Now I prayed and shouted. Now I'm playing. How bad you want it?
Mm-hmm. Do what you got to do.
How bad do you want it? Mm-hmm. It's not that I'm not a dancer. I can dance circles around you if I had to.
Yeah. Yeah.
You catch it? Mm-hmm. If I had to. Mm-hmm. And when Babyface called, I had to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, early on in life, I'm not gonna dance like this. Real men don't do all this, all in the floor and this and that. When my dream said this is the path to get there. Sir. Yes, it is okay, I gotta get down in this floor. I gotta break this self-conscious. I can't be gyrating. I ain't gonna tell no tale. I had one show that was hard for me, and that was the Memphis show, because I didn't want to be popping and stuff when y'all was in. My mama can't see me pop like this now. I gotta keep a little to myself.
Child, mama was out there popping. I was trying to do everything y'all were doing. I love it. I love the
slides anyway. When they get to doing all the little pop, I said, well, my mama out there.
But it was such everybody was asking me how did I feel, and it was a proud moment. But my first word in describing how I feel is not just pride. That's not the first word I go to. Okay. My first word is happy. Mm-hmm. There is something about being a mom, seeing your children happy. Mm-hmm. And I saw you in your sweet space, that had the sweet spot of, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I mean, you've been on stage before. This wasn't, not this to this magnitude, exactly. But you've been on stage before, mm-hmm. And you've been doing stage things for a long time. Right. I remember the first time we came up to your junior high school and you were in there. Shows. Yeah. And this little girl running out talking about, I'm KJ's girlfriend. I'm like,
since I was 5.
Little girl. But seeing you in the moment, having that sweet, that a lot of people don't get a chance to experience, right. Where they are just totally in the moment of a dream. Mm-hmm. It just made me happy. Certainly. And so while I'm proud of you, I've had a lot of proud moments, mm-hmm. but that was a happy moment, because my dream for you and your sister is for you all to find happiness in life. And so that was it for me. And so I got a couple of other things I'm going to ask you about as far as touring, but then I want to ask you about you. Mm-hmm. So in touring, you got these great guys that I got a chance to meet.
Certainly.
And seem like you all have just great relationships. Talk mm-hmm. about that for a moment.
That group of guys, my band is the best big brother you're going to ever find. Okay. There is no grace. Mm-hmm. If the bus leaves at 9, at 9:05, they left you. Gotcha. It just is.
So they're about business too.
Yeah, certainly, because mm-hmm. everybody's trying to chase dreams.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're the best group of a big brother you could ever find, and I say that singularly because all of their personalities kind of make up one. Mm-hmm. You got one guy, Walt, who he's not the oldest, but he acts as if he's the oldest, but that's his disposition. Mm-hmm. But everybody respects it. Gotcha. And Walt he's a straighten up and fly right kind of guy. He's not gonna do too much. He's not gonna paint too much far out the left margin. Mm-hmm. And he's gonna stay within the lines on the right side. Mm-hmm. He knows how to have fun. He's well experienced. But you could just tell that they cared about my well-being. And so they took the opportunities to always tell me things that, I needed to know. And they would tell me in advance that, I don't call a person your friend and when they let you run into a wall and they tell you after, that wall, that's not your friend. Yeah. But all of them were, Reg is the big Reggie. He's a drummer, sweet spirit of a guy. Mm-hmm. He a tough guy. If you can't handle yourself and you got weak skin, you and Reggie ain't gonna do well because Reggie just gonna tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. He didn't have time to, and what he does, he keeps the heartbeat of the band. Okay. If the drummer is off, all of us gonna be off. Yeah. Yeah. So he has a very serious disposition at times, and it's notably understood because again, he don't have time to be trying to get you on this. He's very focused, but he carries that same disposition in life. As much as he has fun with us and he laughs with us, and he jokes with us. you know, when he's serious about something, he's serious about it. You know, it's like a heart attack serious.
And I can just imagine, you know, and I know in other settings, your environment is so important. The people that you have to work with.
Yeah.
That's important.
Because if they don't like you or you all do not get along, somebody has to go.
Yeah.
And then it goes down to between the loyalty of who's been there the longest, or you know, who's the easier person to work with, who's the real cause of the problem, all types of stuff like that. And when you're the new guy, most times if the situation has already been working, and you come in and it don't work, it's you.
Right. and so I got to ask you this, and this is going to be my last question about the tour, this new experience on this tour. How do you handle your ego when you've got, you know, women screaming and...
There is no ego. This is a job.
Okay. Remember that. I'm going to hold you to that.
First 2 weeks, you have a little ego.
Okay.
Because, you know, you feel like, you know, my first 2 weeks, I think we did like 7 shows.
Okay.
And, you know, there's women screaming and going crazy and this, that, and another. But when you like sober up to what it really is, they're not screaming for you.
True.
I mean,
that.
You know, I sing for Babyface.
Right.
You know, they still screaming Babyface. It might sound like your name, but they screaming for Babyface. And even when they think they screaming for you, they don't even know your name.
Right.
You know, I mean, and I think he does a very fair job of giving us our clout. Like when you know, if you go up there and you sing real good, he gonna say, y'all give KJ a hand, or y'all give Walt a hand, or he might shout us out on Instagram and stuff. But that's his show.
Right.
And that's how you humble yourself. Is you want to keep working, you learn to respect and support the person you work. But it's just like church.
Absolutely.
When you get so big that the person who we're really here for can't be seen, you're probably on your way out the door. Because they don't. It's not. If he's not the draw, they ain't making no money because I don't have no records out. I mean, I got a record out. Truly, we thank the Lord, but it ain't selling like Babyface.
Right.
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. But for a minute before we go to commercial, let's talk about that, because you had a project that you did before you started singing with Babyface. And are you going to still pursue your own music?
Yes. I'm always doing music. I'm still pushing Foolish. That opportunity came when Foolish had just kind of taken legs. And so that was a scary situation too. Is when you put music out, you want to push your music, and you don't want to be in a position where you put your music on a back seat, if you will. But with the boss, I don't really feel like I did that. I think the good thing about working with him is it's an opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
If I had taken an opportunity with somebody who did not have the expertise or the genius in the areas that I seek to be a part of, I feel like it could have been an opportunity that might have slightly been a distraction.
Yeah.
But I think the only way, it was so crazy because I've been saying I'm gonna redo Foolish, but the only way to know some of the things that I was missing on that album is to have been in his presence.
I think God could not have placed you with a better person.
Certainly.
You know, he's got, as I said, the longevity, but he's got the maturity in his longevity.
Certainly.
You know, and just
he's got the integrity,
all of that. And so when I think about, you know, our prayers for you and knowing what you wanted to do, God just designed. I mean, we couldn't have designed it any better. God did that.
I agree.
God is the reason, and providentially he put you in that place. So I got to go to commercial break, but I'm going to come back because I got some really fun questions to ask you.
Oh Lord, fun questions or personal questions?
Listen, y'all hang in there with us. We're still talking. We're going to go beyond the tour and just talk about KJ. Be right back. Welcome back to Conversations with Linda. I am having a delightful conversation with my son, KJ. He is on an amazing journey that we both agree that the Lord put him on. He is touring with Babyface, Mr. Edmonds, if you will. And we've been talking about that. But now, KJ, I want to just kind of talk about you.
Ooh, let me sit back.
So, you were not the easiest kid to parent because I didn't know how to parent a creative.
Certainly.
And your dad, while he was, he sing very well. He wasn't as artistic as you. Y'all are really both very comical. But what was going through your mind during that time? Did you think that these folks just don't get me? Or did you just not get yourself even?
I will be very honest to say, I've always been in a place of learning myself.
Okay.
I think the only disconnect I felt, but you know how like kids have that my parents don't understand. It wasn't that I felt like y'all didn't understand, because you all had too many conversations with me for me to ever feel like you didn't understand. I felt like we were so much alike, but we were in so different worlds.
Oh, okay.
Y'all were
who are you? Wait a minute. Who are you more like, your mom or your dad?
Neither. I legitimately feel like I'm a 50-50 mix.
I do too.
Yeah.
I'm glad we agree on that.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a 50-50 mix.
Because
I had my moments where I could sit back and I feel like, ooh, I'm responding like my dad. And then I had my moments where I get the little laugh you just did right there. I'm like, that's my little mama. So it's a 50-50 split.
Okay. So what ways are you like your dad?
Honestly, I can be a very serious person.
Mm-hmm.
I really care about people.
You are so like him in that.
And even when I'll tell you, I'd be trying not to.
Boy,
I know it sounds bad.
You were always bringing home some kind of.
Don't you say stray, because that's what your favorite word is. You'll bring a stray home in a minute.
I know, whether it was a stray dog, stray cat, or a stray person.
Might be.
And I'm like, what you mean? But you would come in, Mom, we got to feed this person, or Mama, can they stay open?
Do you know they wouldn't have found James Brown if somebody had not done that for him?
Boy, come on back. Come back.
He was in jail and couldn't get out.
So you really are like your dad.
In those areas, yeah. I just really care. And even the older I get, some things I think he just did to me, like, me liking to play golf. Had he and I never played, I probably wouldn't like it. Mm-hmm. But, it's just something. So the older I get, I find myself becoming more like him. But I think that's just in my demeanor and, a lot of times my disposition. Yeah. I think that, but it just goes down to this. It's really 50-50.
How are you like me?
I'm super analytical.
Okay.
I am a problem solver. Black and white has to be black and white. Even if there's gray, there are tidbits of the white and tidbits of the black that makes the gray. So how close are we going to look? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah,
you're a therapist too. You're a therapist.
I am. I am the person that will go look in the trash and see why you lied about this cereal.
That's an inside joke, because he got one of the worst whippings for some cereal he lied about.
Oh, it doesn't even make sense.
I didn't even know why you lied about that cereal. You were like, what?
I kept feeling like it's Christmas. She got so much to do with her life. Why is she worried about cereal?
No, but it was the fact that you lied about it.
Because it was nasty. Didn't nobody want to eat it. You just going to force me to eat it.
But you didn't have to lie about it.
If I had a tablet, none of this would have happened.
They weren't doing tablets back then.
That's why I got whooped. I had no tablet. Woke up one morning. It's Christmas. We done played with all of the toys. She like, y'all clean up the kitchen and eat y'all some breakfast. We like, okay, cool. But ain't nothing in there but some nasty sugar smacks. And I said, hold on, let's go and be honest about it. I said, Ma,
we were at your grandmama's. And what was I gonna do about that?
She gonna put her finger in my face and say, you better eat them sugar smacks. Pour me a bowl and put all this milk in so now they get soggy. Oh my God. They gonna ask me, did you eat them? I'm sitting there, I said.
Because I left out of the room. When I came back, you told me you ate cereal. Why didn't you just tell the truth?
I was gonna get whipped either way.
But you got a worse beating because you lied.
If I didn't eat the cereal, for the 10 minutes that you didn't know I didn't eat the cereal, it worked. It wasn't until you decided you wanted to be petty enough to go look in the dog. who looks in the trash?
Because I knew you. I knew you.
She goes, sit down. I said, okay. And she proceeds to take the lid off the trash can, go in trash, take the top trash out the trash can so she can look at it. Then when she finds, she gonna say, Kevin. I just sat at that table and said, you know what? She just ruined Christmas.
You were truly my challenge. You were truly my
I thought if I put the trash on top of it, that
was the problem. You were always trying to get over. You would never just go the straight and narrow way. You were always trying to buy.
That seemeth right.
Oh, there you go.
It might have been the straight and narrow that seemed right, but them sugar smells gonna have my stomach hurting all day.
What is your favorite TV show?
Ooh,
because this is what people may not know about KJ. There is a reference to a TV show or a movie in every conversation. He can quote things people have said. I mean, from all kinds of movies and shows, he's gonna give you some famous line, some kind of quote. So, what's your favorite TV show?
Oh, that's hard.
I know
that's hard to have a favorite. It probably Martin.
You know you act like Martin sometimes in your humor.
I don't mind.
In your humor. Yeah. I looked at you the other day at the table.
Hey, I throw people out. I don't mind. I don't mind. It makes life so much easier.
So that on the opposite side of that sensitive side, you got that real cutthroat side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah.
That's you.
But that comes from... I have, that sensitive side that he gave us is just, you just come to the table with your heart on your sleeve a little bit. You be vulnerable. You try. When you care about people, you want to see them succeed. And because of what you guys have done all of your lives, it puts you in a place. We ain't never sold chicken. You know what I mean? I know that's how we say,
right.
We in the people business.
Right.
And so when your family has been that way, I mean, my aunts and uncles, if I was going to Dallas to hang out with my aunts and uncles, they were in the ministry. So you had your hood side or whatever, but you never escaped people who cared about people.
Yeah.
So,
I remember when you were trying to get some street credit and we were in church one Sunday morning. You remember that?
Nah, I'm not too far.
And you were up there. I walked in church and you tell me about
that was on the Bible. That was in Bible study when I stood up and said I had to walk to school, and
walk to school and gang between gangs.
No, that ain't what I said. That's just what y'all feel like I said. That ain't what I said.
I'm like, boy, you have never.
I stood up and told them about the time I missed the bus, and I had to walk all the way to school from missing the bus.
KJ, we live right down the street.
No, I'm talking about when we lived at Southwind. When I was going to Southwind, and I missed that bus. I was young too. This was now we were living in Cordova. I missed that bus, and I thought I was gonna be able to run around the corner and catch it down there, over there off of Lawrence.
Did you go to school that day?
I walked the whole way. I didn't have no, I had cell phones to call you, nothing.
Okay.
I called you when I got to school, told you I wanted you to come get me. You told me finish the day and we'll see about it. Who answers questions like that? My stomach hurt. Well, go ahead and go to lunch and then call me back. It's like,
because I knew you.
I called in the morning. Mom, I don't have no pencil. Use them markers and then I'll be there later on that afternoon. What?
That was because you were always calling me. You were always calling me.
I didn't want to be there.
Y'all
had me at school. I was trying to be in the office with Miss Helen Scott. That's where the business was happening.
Boy, you crazy.
Pauline Wilson and Helen Scott. That's how I knew everything was going. Paulette.
But you know what?
Oh, yeah, Charlie and Pauline Wilson. Baby, I knew everything that was going on in the church office.
You never had an appreciation for school.
Because I was beyond them. I knew what was going on in church, in the deacons meeting, trustees meeting. I knew who was tithing and all types of things before I ever went to kindergarten. I could read and everything.
Let's move on.
They had me dealing with trivia issues in first grade.
They were trying to teach you how to read and write.
I don't even know what an octagon is. Do you know what's going on right after Sunday school, right between the right between the Family Life Center and before you get to the main building? There's a lot happening right in there. All of them own parking spaces. Ain't none of them right. I knew that before I went to kindergarten.
Oh, Lord have mercy. This is what I had to deal with.
I had a older age upbringing, if you will. I spent my days with Miss Patricia Levy when I first got to Memphis. She was 60 then. We had a ball, but I just listen. Every day we ate ice cream and watched Perry Mason.
Let me get you.
So by the time I went to kindergarten, I was looking at my kindergarten teacher and said, "You need to talk to somebody. you need to. First thing you need to do is try Jesus."
Listen, y'all understand now why I had such a difficult time raising him, because he has been this way since he was probably about 4 years old.
I'm telling you what, don't nobody want to hear the truth. What's that reason? Don't nobody want to hear the truth. Yeah, when folks was in pre-K, see, when we were in Dallas, Kelly went to this pre-K, was in this pre-K system. I went for maybe 6 months, maybe a year. Mm-hmm. And, I remember seeing the pictures and all this other stuff. Kelly had this, pretty graduation on this white little robe and graduating. I didn't get all of that because we moved before that. We usually make these big transitional moves in life before something big happens to me.
You need to see a therapist about that.
That's true. I've been theraping that. But so when we got to Memphis, we didn't really know anybody that could keep me.
True.
So it was the women who were like really the pastor's aid committee women who were like, "Oh, we'll help you with KJ." True. That's how I on Sunday mornings I'd be with Miss Vera Banks. So throughout the week I'd be with Polly. That's how I remember I got that 3rd degree burn on my hand. I was riding the tractor with John Hayes.
Sure.
I hung with older people.
Right. And so you didn't have much
childlike conversation.
Enthusiasm for childlike experiences.
My first day of kindergarten, everybody stood up and got in the line and walked out the door. And when they got out there, it was just all of these things out there that were, wood chips and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. And the teacher was like, "We got everybody stay in line. We got to go back." And when they got back in line, they came back to the door. Everybody was trying to figure out why they were back inside. And she said, "We left KJ." Mm-hmm. And the kids looked at me and said, "Why he didn't come?" She said, "Everybody sit down." They said, "Well, why we not going outside?" She said, "Because we can't leave KJ." She said, "Why you go outside?" And she looked at the kids looked at her. She said, "Because he don't play games."
Boy, come on.
I've been that way all my life, man. I came here to either y'all gonna teach me something or y'all gonna free me up. Because listen,
that's what I hope now.
I could read in kindergarten. I didn't even need that grade.
Okay, let's go on. What would you tell? Because I'm at the age now. I'm starting to forget you. I was 8. You're 32. Mm-hmm. Kelly's 34. Mm-hmm. What would you tell your 18-year-old self now? If you could talk to your 18-year-old.
Pay your bills. No,
baby, I've been trying to tell you that for a long time.
Pay your bills, Doc. Credit is more important than college. No. Yes.
What would you tell your 18-year-old self?
My 18-year-old
If you could sit KJ down.
When life happens, it doesn't mean that destiny isn't coming. But life happening is usually the test as to whether you can handle your destiny.
Okay. All right.
Most times, most of the people who are great, their greatness usually doesn't fall into their life until after some immense trial or triumph.
That's very true.
And when you get to that place in life, usually the grinding of your life is usually when you start to feel like, I gotta find something else.
Okay.
Right. When I dropped Foolish, it wasn't a plea not to do music anymore, but it was legitimately saying as a grown man, I'm gonna do this on my own, and then whatever happens, happens.
Okay.
So I would probably tell myself, my 18-year-old self, to hold on to your faith.
Okay.
Consider it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation, knowing that it is the trying of your faith that works patience.
All right, you've fallen into many. What is the greatest lesson you've learned about women?
If you can leave them alone, you can make some money. Now, you ask me, I gotta tell you, if you can leave them alone, You can be rich.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you know, women have that driving us to conquer women or to find that perfect woman. When it's never that it is the perfect woman. It is the woman who is willing to stick it out with you, because her sticking it out with you breeds this appreciation, and it harnesses that drive. Mm-hmm. If you can take that drive and then put it in a specific direction, mm-hmm. you can reach the stars. Okay. And so it is finding a woman that will be good to you, but that you will appreciate. A lot of times mm-hmm. we date below because it still gives us the freedom to do other things.
Sure.
But when you appreciate, you know, the woman that you have, or the woman that it is, you know, that God gave, because sometimes folks say God gave them this woman, you picked her up.
Mm. Okay.
But you know,
if you weren't doing music, what would you do?
You know, I don't know. I legitimately feel like at the moment in which I'm not able to sing anymore, that'll probably be the moment I fizzle out. Honestly. Mm-hmm. Everything that has happened to me in life, I know lines of moves. It works together to create a circle of balance of life. No, but seriously, I feel like even until now, up until now, and that's why I'm so anxious to see what life holds. Mm-hmm. When you look back at your life, you know, in the moments you're going through, you're like, how is this going to work into things? But when you look back at it, it is amazing how they all weave together mm-hmm. to make you have certain things mm-hmm. that you need for certain experiences. Mm-hmm. There were certain moments on tour that I had to check back in to say, oh, I've been through this before. Mm-hmm. You know what mm-hmm. I mean? Going through it, it was like, why is this happening to me? Mm-hmm. But while I was out and I experienced, like Reggie, for example, Reggie is, like I said, Reggie tough. Reggie gonna give it to you like this. I was the new guy. Mm-hmm. So the first time he gave it to me, you know, he said something to me. I could have kind of went into my shell. Mm-hmm. I could have been mm-hmm. like, bro, don't say nothing to me. Mm-hmm. But I've had so many different experiences in the working industry where the person might be way older than you. You know, like I was working with a Joe Pace who didn't have a respect of a person. Mm-hmm. And it didn't matter how well you sang. So mm-hmm. you weren't going to get the, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here. So I had already dealt with that. So I was able to hear that this is about business.
Sure.
So I just believe that when God gets me to the place where he wants me, I truly believe I have an influence that that can draw the thousands, and I'm gonna draw them to him, and I'm gonna make a stage left.
Okay. Who's your most favorite singer? Be it R&B, gospel?
That's hard. I listen to people based on what mood I'm in.
Okay.
I love John Legend. I love John P. Key. Ray Charles can just bring me to tears. Mm-hmm. I think I listen to Ray Charles when I think about my granny. Mm-hmm. When I think about Gammy, I go sit and listen to Ray Charles. He's got this song where he talks about my mother told me, but every time I say it, I say my grandmother told me before she passed away, mm-hmm. son, when I'm gone, don't forget to pray. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's a tough question because I don't have a large circle of musicians or artists that I listen to. But it would be hard to just pick one.
Just to pick one. Yeah. Well, you're one of my top two. You're one of my top two. You and your dad.
I can't get him to record that. He's one of my favorite singers, not one of my favorite recording artists.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
I'm trying to get him to record.
Well, you know what? This has been so much fun for me. But it's also, again, one of my happy moments to get to an opportunity to allow you to reflect on your journey, mm-hmm. and both personal and professional, and to hear the wealth of wisdom that you have garnered from, your walk. And most of all, I gotta say this, most of all, my prayer for you has been answered. My prayer always was not that you would go to college, not about who you would marry. My prayer was always that you were going to know God, mm-hmm. and love God for yourself as I did and as I do. And so I'm a happy mom. I'm a happy mom. I love you.
I love you too.
All right, you all. It's been great. Yeah, we've had some laughs, and we still disagree on this idea of focus, but he'll get it. Just let him keep on living. Tune in every Sunday evening here at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for Conversations with Linda. Y'all know I'm out of time, but I am never out of conversation. I'll see you next week. God bless you.